슬픈 말은 하지마.
The meeting was finally over. It felt like the longest meeting till now, as you were trying to control coughing the whole time just to not make things awkward or embarrassing for you, but it did come out a few times. When all the other people who were present in the room walked outside one by one, you felt the gaze of your boss on you. It was heavy, and you always feel like you have done something wrong whenever he looks at you like this. You were collecting all the files and documents when he walked near you, making your heartbeat rise faster with his every step, but you didn't look at him. Yesterday I asked you to show me the paperwork of Mr. Daniel's contract. I didn't get them, and I'm still waiting, he said in his usual cold tone while you looked at him. I will give you that by the end of the day. You again looked down at the papers, but you knew that now his eyebrows are up. Why at the end of the day? That work has to be done in the morning. I'm aware, but some documents are yet to be prepared, so I'll finish them. You heard him exhaling in annoyance. What's going on, Miss Ryan? What are you doing from the past few weeks? Everything is pending. Yesterday also you gave the same excuse, and now too. What do you even do? You are seriously not into hard work and work less than an average employee. It's not going to work. Things are pretty serious at this point, and you are taking everything so lightly. He finally confronted you after observing you from a few days, and he knew it's true, but you are not doing it purposely. I'm sorry, sir. I don't want an apology. I want work, and I hope you will take it seriously, or else. He stopped and didn't finish the sentence, but you understood what would be the next words. He walked out of the room while you continued collecting the papers when the manager walked inside. She was listening everything while standing out of the door and came inside as soon as Jungkook left. Why don't you just tell him that you are not healthy enough to be working as per his expectations? You turned towards her while she walked near. You need to take rest. Just tell him you can't work that much and take a leave for a week or two until you get better. I can't take leave at this moment, but I'll surely do after all this is over, she said. You're not taking your health seriously. At least tell him not to get mad at you. He doesn't seem to know. There's no need. I don't want to gain sympathy. Okay, I'll go now. She sighed and nodded while you picked your collected stuff before walking away. You came back to his office where he was talking to someone. It was related to the work that you have failed to complete on time, and although he is very specific and never apologizes because he avoids creating such situations, but now he was apologizing for not being able to meet the deadline. You walked in and put his coffee on his desk before walking to yours and started to do your work before he got a chance to take out his frustration on you, although he barely does that. Jungkook ended the call and turned his chair towards you. You must have listened to everything. You looked at him and gave a nod. I will complete that work. Not just complete, I want it by the evening. No excuses. You nodded and drank some water before starting the work. Jungkook opened his laptop and started to do his work as well while his eyes were shifting to you from time to time. Did you get yourself something to eat? No matter how cold he is, he still cares about you. I'm fine, I had my breakfast. He nodded and again started working. A month ago, you both went to Japan for a few weeks, and you have to act like his girlfriend in front of his parents. Throughout the week, you both were together, even shared the same room so that his parents don't doubt that You both are just faking it. It happened because his parents were continuously forcing him to get married, so to avoid that topic for the lifetime, he told them that he's already dating and then he asked you to be his fake girlfriend. Though you got paid well for that, but in that process you developed more feelings for him but never really confessed. And you don't think you'll be able to confess them ever. The door opened and manager walked in with a pile of files towering over her head. She put them on the desk before looking at Jungkook. These are all of them, right? She nodded. Yes, even the previous 10 years contracts are here. He nodded. Thank you. Now you can go. She nodded and then looked at you. You looked down and again started to do your work. You have to meet the deadline at any cost. You shouldn't be working like this when you are so ill. She finally blurted out, not being able to see your condition. Jungkook tilted his head in confusion and asked, "What?" You wide-eyed her, who was already moving towards the door after putting you in an explanatory situation. Oops, sorry, but it's true. You need to rest. She waved and walked outside, closing the door, while you were afraid to even move your head towards Jungkook now. She left you with your boss, who was now tapping his foot on the ground. What was she talking about? You don't really want to discuss it, so you turn back to your work and slather more pink on the wall. It's not an issue, really. He got up before walking towards you and then steps close to you, totally getting in your space. I'll be the judge of that. Now tell me, what's going on? You weren't looking at him and your eyes focused on the laptop screen, but you could still feel his gaze. In fact, now your heart was beating so fast because he was super close. I just have specific ailments. You didn't elaborate it, but he wasn't ready to hear your short replies. What specific ones? He wasn't going to let it go. You finally looked at him, matching his gaze. I've got an autoimmune disease, but it's fine. He stood there in silence for some time, maybe feeling bad or guilty for not finding it out. And why did he feel that? Well, because he likes you, and he wants to know what you are going through, but sad because you don't share it with him. What? You have been working here with no fans and coughing in? No, it's fine, you explained, cutting his words. When I was back home, they said that if I just made sure to monitor it. So you haven't talked to anyone since moving here? His voice was quiet now, but his gaze was too intense. What for? I'll go later. I've been busy working in this place that my boss wanted me to. You point out that he's wanting you working. Don't. He has concern in his voice, but you try to explain him that it's nothing to be so serious about, although the rest part is necessary, but you are already behind your work. Look, I know this is a lot of new information, but let's just get this work done because we are so close to the opening day and I could give no damn about opening day. We could be milliseconds away from it and you wouldn't be working in this condition. You were so surprised by this behavior of his. When it comes to work, he doesn't even prioritize himself, but knowing that you are sick, he is ready to delay such an important work. He closed all the files on your laptop and took you to your home to give you the rest of the day. You got a chance to fall for him even more, and the whole night you didn't stop thinking about him. The next day, you woke up feeling a little better, but not until you see the time and the panic started because you were late. You didn't get any message or call from Jungkook, so you quickly finished dressing up and without eating or drinking anything, you just went to the office as soon as possible. You opened the door and came inside the office, all prepared to apologize because you didn't want him to think that you are using his kindness way too much, but what you saw next was really unexpected. He was there, sitting in your workplace, sleeves rolled up, working on your job for you, and all the files were open in front of him, and he looked so focused. He looked up at you when you tried to close the door silently. You walked near him. I'm sorry I got late. You didn't have to come. I told you to rest and come back when you'll be fine. You put your bag on the table. I'm feeling better already. Thanks for yesterday, but now I can do my work. It's okay, I'm doing it and it will be over soon. Did you eat anything? I've heard that you never eat your breakfast. He suddenly became so caring. He was same as when you both were fake dating in front of his parents. He treated you the same way. For that you almost forgot that he's not your real boyfriend but your boss. He was waiting for your reply, but your silence itself was an answer. You didn't write. I was late, so he sighed and quickly dialed a number, telling the caterer to bring food. I don't want anyone to put that blame on me just because you work for me. No one's going to do that. You said, looking at him, and then there was silence for some time. You rest here, I'll finish this work real quick and I don't want to listen to anything. You nodded because there was no use of opposing him. You knew he won't listen to you, so you just sit on the couch. He again started to focus on the work and your focus was on him. A smile appeared on your face when you saw him, remembering all the moments you have spent with him. This relationship is complicated. You don't understand if it's only between a boss and employee or there's something more than that. I won't be able to focus if you keep looking at me like this. Your cheeks turned pink and you quickly looked away in embarrassment while he bit his lower lip, trying to suppress his smile. I'm sorry. It's okay. You can look. I know I'm too addictive. He was making you blush more than anything had made you. I don't think so. He lifted up his face and looked at you. Oh really? I thought I was. You didn't say anything and before he continued, there was a knock on the door. Come in. The door opened and the caterer came inside with a big tray of food. Keep it on the table. He signed towards the center table and he did the same. You were speechless to see the amount of food according to the breakfast. Do you really think I eat this much only for breakfast? It's not only for you. Mine's there too. Oh, you felt relaxed. Jungkook looked at the caterer. Why did you bring the coffee? I didn't ask. Sir, you are working here since 3 a.m. You need some energy. You looked at Jungkook surprised. Okay, you can go now. He nodded and left while Jungkook turned towards you. Let's eat. You are working for that long? Why? He raised his brow and looked at you before picking his coffee cup. What do you mean by why? Don't you know that we have to finish this work today itself? He sighed. I'm sorry. You felt really bad that he was sacrificing his health just to do your job as well. Why sorry? Isn't it my work too? But that doesn't mean you should sacrifice your health in this. Jungkook understood that you were concerned about him. Did you visit the hospital? I talked to my doctor. He said I'm alright, just a little bit of rest required. He nodded. And you have to rest well. Don't worry about work, okay? You looked at him and smiled. This conversation is looking a lot similar to when we were fake dating, isn't it? You said with a chuckle, but Jungkook didn't. He was just looking at you. I'm just saying, you thought he didn't like the fact that you were being so casual. Do you want to repeat the same thing? But this time, let's make it real. Your heart skipped a beat. You mean? He nodded. My parents anyways want me to get married, and before they find out that I fooled them, which I didn't, but it's better to be with the woman I love rather than being forced to someone I would never want. Your heart was beating faster. You never thought that he was experiencing the same feelings as yours, and what could be better than this? For you have always given his heart to him. Do I still have to wait? He asked when you didn't reply. You looked at him and slowly shook your head. No, this time not. A smile appeared on his face. So let's celebrate it. We have food in front of us. We already followed the rituals, the basics, so no wasting time. You chuckled looking down. And we have work too that we have to finish. You reminded him again as he was completely into this topic. It's almost done. Let's have breakfast first. He said, giving you the glass of orange juice that he specially asked to bring for you. We'll go to the doctor for a checkup, and from now on, remember that you have me to talk to. Please don't hide anything from me. You nodded and took a sip from the glass. You were feeling so happy from inside. This feeling was so good. You were planning not to fall in love with any other guy who is not him, and it was known that you have to die single, but destiny has its own plan to bring you closer to him. From being the fake girlfriend, you ended up becoming the woman of his dreams, the one he adores and cares about.